It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theater, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And also we have the Merman. You're sporting an Avengers t-shirt. Why is that?
Because it's clean.
That's a good reason to wear a shirt.
I sometimes wear clean shirts.
Yeah, I try to sometimes.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all been sporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/Film Rage YYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. If it played anywhere in the world in a cinema, we will watch it. Now, let's get to raging. What amazing moment predict? What amazing moment predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict a mondo? Will he tell us what Jim and Bryce are at the movies? Better watch out, cause here he comes. He's coming swimming to you.
And you and you.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim all the way to our hearts, our little rage-filled hearts.
Did you know there's a merman in Banff?
Merman!
There is.
Merman. What?
I was showing a picture. It's an amazing likeness of me.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so please tell us more.
It's like a sculpture. It's like a mermaid with like this nasty fish head, but it's called the Merman apparently.
Nice.
Sadly, I did not get time to stop and pose with it, but I will at some point.
We'll make a special trip.
We'll make a special trip. All right, so 5 movies this week, which I only had time to see one because I was actually working for a change. First up, we have the John Wick sequel, prequel, spinoff, whatever.
Franchise.
Ballerina. Which we saw and nearly froze to death trying to get through.
I think I got hypothermia.
I think you got hypothermia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I got double pneumonia.
I had to cut my toe off because it froze, turned black.
It was a 2-hour movie. So I sort of liked it, but there was a lot of stupid things. But yeah, I don't think you guys liked it as much as Jim loves his Keanu Reeves. This is quite a stupid movie, so I'm gonna go double rage. The Phoenician Scheme.
Yes.
All I need to say is 2 words: Wes Anderson.
Those are 2 words.
Double Mondo. I'd be shocked if you didn't love it. And I know nothing about it other than who's in it. Like everybody. Dangerous Animals, which I actually wanted to see, which is not about sharks, but they talk about sharks.
Well, there's sharks. There's sharks in it.
But it's about serial killers, so it looked interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the sharks are kind of the serial.
There you go. I don't think it was stupendous.
At least the weapon.
Film, so let's go double man with that one.
Double man. And
The Ritual, which has a lot of things that Jim likes. It's got exorcisms. It's got Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
It's got demons.
But it also
got
has
Al Pacino. Double rage. Finally, I can't even pronounce this. Said Headless Horror or something, and I thought it was Korean, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It sounded like
it's Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
It's very Vietnamese.
I don't know. Looked kind of interesting, but I'm still gonna go double man.
All right.
There you go.
It's probably the most Vietnamese film we've ever seen.
It is very Vietnamese-y.
Very Vietnamese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's easy and Vietnamese.
Was it tasty as Vietnamese?
I do love my Vietnamese food.
I know you do.
I'm sorry, what did you say on that one?
Delicious.
Double
you said
man.
double man.
Double man.
All right. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is Ballerina. something, blah, blah, something.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so I'm confused.
What else is new?
Yeah, true. They have this big sappy intro for how she becomes the ballerina, and by happenstance, she gets connected to the high table / Angelica Houston via Mr. Winston. And her dad's a killer and didn't find her after the whole "my daddy gets killed" episode. And her father was a good man? Like, what is the... But he's also an assassin?
He was a professional killer.
He's a
just
professional killer, but he's a good man? Like,
Well, yeah, but
And-
because he realized the errors of his ways. and
Oh, that makes him a-
turned
oh.
over. He's turned over a new leaf.
so he's good
not
now.
once evil, always evil. Jim, people can change.
Yeah, if he was a killer, it doesn't make him a good man.
People can change.
Yeah.
Retribution, my friend.
Oh yeah, there's probably Catholic stuff going on in this. You just have to say, "I'm sorry.
It's all in
sorry.
Russian, though, but yeah.
I'm sorry."
All those tattoos on
Sorry.
their backs. I'm sure some of it is.
Yeah, so she's been training as a ballerina / killer for
Assassin,
12 years, and she can't do even the most basic of ballerina moves, so that kind of surprised me too. I'm like, okay, so the whole first 29 minutes and the training they show of her is ridiculous and idiotic. I'm not even sure what point they were trying to make. Train like a girl. Does that mean be an idiot until you fight like a girl?
No,
okay.
it's Fight Like a Girl. It's Evanescence's new song.
Oh, there you go. Okay, maybe not that, I guess, but how about the predictability and the corniness of it? And her first assignment, she wears a long dress to fight in, but there's a pickaxe, a murder weapon
'Cause it's a nice club.
in a nightclub.
It's a nice nightclub.
Yeah, of course. That pickaxe would totally be there. So that makes so much sense. This just kept going from stupid and ridiculous.
It would make
to-
sense in that particular
It would
restaurant.
not make a sense. They
It
don't
was
have.
ice everywhere.
This is in the U.S.
They would need the pickaxe to move the ice blocks around.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the people just in the place having access to murder weapons. It's just not going to happen.
Pickaxes, everything's a murder weapon.
I don't know
Jim.
what's stupider, you right now or this
Or
movie.
the plot of the movie.
It's actually more stupid.
I'm not-
Stupider's not technically proper English.
Oh,
but
there we
I-
stupidest.
Stupidest is to proper English.
Yeah, and the things that like are in the John Wick franchise made no sense, and in the John Wick franchise it does make sense, but in this it's almost like she becomes a super skilled only when she fights like a girl.
Yeah.
Before then, she is incompetent at everything. Apparently at dancing, apparently at fighting, apparently at being able to go around corners and not look where she's supposed to. And how about she is ruthlessly trained for 12 straight years as an assassin and a ballerina, and until someone says fight like a girl, then she actually
Gets her
learns
ass
what
kicked
she's...
in every single fight.
Yeah,
Well,
and
she
then all
just
of a
needed
sudden-
to know that she needed to fight like a girl. So now everything's all
Apparently.
right.
Oh, okay. So I don't know what that even means. But okay. I mean, I like revenge flicks, especially when it comes to ladies who kick ass and punch dicks.
You
But,
wouldn't know what
But
it
this took the rules and structure of the high table and the whole John Wick franchise and kind of threw them away.
How do you even remember any of this stuff? I
'Cause
don't
I-
remember anything
'Cause
about
he's a
John
big fan
Wick.
of John
Because I'm a
Wick.
big fan of John Wick.
John
and
Wick is like water on top of a
Duck's back. Yeah, it's awesome.
Just slides
the
off.
way the
and
ducks should be.
never to be seen from again.
And
It's
and
like,
everything
whatever.
like in John Wick, they're not trying to make a point.
No.
They're just trying to kill Keanu,
were
and
they
then he
trying?
kills.
Were they trying to
Well,
make
no,
a point in this
They
one?
were
no.
they were trying hard to make some point. I just don't know what the
Well, no,
point was.
Yeah.
in the first one they killed his dog, so he had to kill everybody in response.
Exactly.
Then they just kept coming after him.
Yeah,
for
because he
4
kept getting more
movies.
dogs.
Yeah.
It's
And pissing off more people.
exactly. But the action in this at times was done pretty good, but the story was contrary to the rules they set up in John Wick. And the so-called cults are killers who follow no rules but then let people live because that makes sense. And I just think be consistent. Like the John Wick movies weren't trying to make any point other than let's kill Keanu and let's have him kill a lot of people. In this, these are horrible, awful killers, but let people live. It made no sense. And why is it that this
Who was
iteration of the
let live?
franchise?
I don't even understand.
Well, they let her live the first time when she's in between things. They let what's his face, Daryl from The Walking Dead, live. Like they're just letting people live all the time. It's just like, but they didn't.
What the hell's a Daryl from The Walking Dead?
What's his name? The guy who plays Daryl in The Walking
Norman
Dead?
Reedus.
Yeah, Norman.
Oh,
Reedus.
Norman Reedus? Yeah, he was in this movie.
Yeah,
Yes,
he was.
he was, for
And
like
they let
5
him live
minutes.
too.
And his name's Daryl?
His
His
name's
name
Daryl.
wasn't Daryl in this.
In The Walking
Walking
Dead.
Dead.
He got his own show. He was so good.
Yeah.
Daryl got his own show?
Daryl
Yeah.
Dixon
Because
goes.
he hunted with a crossbow. He hunted zombies with a crossbow. And people loved him so much, he got his own show.
So that was the character that was in this
Basically,
movie?
Yeah,
he was still
Daryl.
doing The
It was
Walking
So his
Dead.
name's Daryl Dixon? His name wasn't Daryl Dixon.
I don't know.
I think it
Who cares
was.
what his name was in
I'm
this?
pretty sure. Anyway, they let him live too. It's just like, then everything changes.
Did they let him live?
Yes, he
How did they let him live?
I don't know. He
They
just
tried to kill him?
Did you fall asleep? Did
Oh,
you
I'm
miss the
sorry,
end?
we're-
No, I was
we're-
awake through this whole
they
debacle.
were assassins.
Then you missed the end.
They didn't kill
No,
anybody.
I
Wait,
saw the end.
the only person they killed
The end
was,
was
her dad.
The last time you saw him was when the train was going by, and there was like 8 guys about to kill him while his daughter was running away with her. And then you never saw him
Well, he
again.
obviously got away.
No, you thought he was dead.
Well,
That's the point.
But he wasn't.
There was 8 guys. Anyway,
You're proving my point
That-
here.
I'm proving
that was
there.
the point
You don't
that-
know
They're
what
assassins
We
that
don't know
never-
what happens behind closed
yeah,
doors.
see, that was the
They're-
point Jim was making. Is that 8 guys were about to kill him, and he still survives.
Yeah.
It's the world of John Wick where 8 guys against 1 doesn't mean anything. You might as
No,
well have
the
100 guys
rule-
against 1.
the rule
In fact,
of-
you have a whole town against 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, Jim. What are you talking about?
Okay, if you would actually shut up and listen to what I'm saying.
John Wick goes against 400
He
guys
kills
in every
everybody.
movie.
John Wick.
So what's the difference?
Okay, the point I was making before you got stupid.
All right,
Stupider.
go ahead.
Sorry, is stupider a word again?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
More
before you got
stupid
more
or
stupid than you already are, is that this is ridiculous. It's like this whole iteration of this franchise.
This whole franchise. Just don't
no,
say iteration.
This iteration. They hit like
Spin-off.
it's just nothing made any sense in this. Okay, up until we meet up with John, this still had a chance to be an action-packed ladies who kick ass and punch dicks film. That could maybe have made this a survivable low meh. But then my beloved Keanu came into the story, and it even got stupider.
More stupid.
So, the stupidest. So he had no consequences for not killing her. Even the fun kills, and there were a few, could have saved this because the writing is just, it's so bad. It's really, the writing was bad. The story was bad. This kind of ruins the whole John Wick franchise. It didn't follow any of the stories. I'm sorry, my beloved Keanu, but this was a rage. I hated this movie. Even with a flamethrower fight. How can you ruin a movie that has a flamethrower fight?
There's a flamethrower
There's a
fight.
flamethrower fight, and they
They're
ruined
standing
it.
like 20 feet apart from each other, just shooting flames.
Yeah,
at each other.
or like the real villain, like she gets into the flamethrower fight with him. Say that 5 times fast. Try and have and then
The
he just did.
henchman,
He didn't get hurt or anything. He just disappears.
disappeared,
It's like he
yeah.
doesn't, and then he comes back like 15 minutes later with his flamethrower, and like this, everything that happens in this was ridiculous.
And it was like 2 hours long, and like it wasn't until 10 minutes before the end where she actually got to kill the main bad guy. Like she spent all this time fighting everybody else in the town, and then all of a sudden, looking at her watch, I'm like, this movie's over in like 5 minutes. She hasn't even got to the guy yet.
And then it didn't end
Then
in
it
5
did-
minutes.
it did end in 5
was-
minutes.
it was just, this was, the last John Wick almost did me in, and if it wasn't for some of the Keanu moments, it would have been a huge rage. But this was horrible.
Not
Just
enough Keanu.
stop making these films.
Yeah,
Just stop it. Murray, what do you think?
I don't have much more to add other than the fact that I agree with pretty much everything. This was what's her name? Anna de Armas. Yeah, she's just, I don't know. I don't know why she's as big as she is. I don't think she can act very well. Everything I've seen her in, I mean, she was in an action movie with Chris Evans.
Yeah, she's fine.
It was terrible. This was much better because she can't pull off the whole movie by herself. And
that wasn't the
if
problem.
they were gonna include this as part of the John Wick franchise, he should have had a bigger part.
No.
Like,
Should have had
he
no
talked
part.
he talked to her for like 30 seconds in the middle of the movie, and then he came for her at the end. But that was it.
That should have been the only thing we saw from him was that talk.
And I mean, the bad guys. I mean, basically, it was a Nazi cult. Might as well call it that, because they all spoke with accents, either Austrian or German.
Yep.
And basically, you can't leave, otherwise they hunt you down and kill you. And they own a whole town. So yeah, they were basically Nazis. And she took on the whole town, but like she went into the town, you knew that everybody in the town was crooked. Even the kids probably had guns.
Yeah.
And she went in by herself. So yeah, I mean,
And she's no John Wick because she fought with John Wick for 2 minutes and he bit slapped her.
Yeah, and she seriously got her ass kicked in every single fight scene until she fought dirty.
Yeah. Oh no. She fought like a girl, Murray.
But yeah, John Wick basically let her live and carry out her vengeance, but he should just put a bullet in her head. But he didn't. But anyway, I was kind of hoping she would die. Well, no,
I think we all were.
Well, no, she tracks.
At no point did I wish her dead.
No, not her, the character.
I understand. At no point did I wish the character
thought
dead.
At the end, she gets her revenge
Character
on
seemed
the
nice
guy.
enough.
And then Wick would just put a bullet in her head to fulfill his contract. That's what I thought was going to
would've
happen.
been great.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah,
So because of that,
it was a rage. It was terrible.
okay. So why don't you tell us why the real reason that this was not a good movie?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, this wasn't a good movie because it was just not a good movie. It wasn't well written. I didn't believe
anything.
I didn't like the way that they used John Wick at all. I mean, that was ridiculous. If you're gonna have this is supposed to kind of spin off into its own thing, which I think is the intention.
That was it. That was the intention.
It's absolutely the intention. Then you can't have her standing on the shoulders of John Wick. You have to have her do this by herself.
Yes, I agree.
And the little nod in the middle where she asks him his advice at when she's still being trained.
And he tells her to leave.
Yeah. That's what we needed. We didn't need to see John Wick again. And then when he came back into it, nothing made sense.
It was dumb.
It was completely dumb. And yes, you get into the last scene and it's basically one against an entire town. But once she kills the big baddie, well, where is everybody else? She didn't kill the whole town. Where are the kids? They're probably being trained as assassins
They are,
too.
yep.
So where is everybody? All of a sudden she kills the big baddie and then the streets are empty. Like completely, like everything was so dumb in this.
It's the same logic with vampire movies. You kill the head vampire and everybody else turns back to normal.
But it's not the same logic. Because that actually... I'm going to say something silly, but Murray, that makes sense.
I know it does.
This movie does not make sense. This was a complete rage.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not gonna bad mouth Ana de Armas. It was not her fault at all. She can carry a movie. I believe she can carry a movie. Unfortunately, not this movie because this was bad writing. This was also very, very strange the way they used John Wick in it.
I agree.
I don't understand. If you want this character to be its own thing, you had too much JW in there. And yeah, it was a complete and utter rage. I hated this movie.
Yeah. I know what to do.
One more. Just for good measure.
Yeah. It almost deserves a quadruple.
Almost a double.
All right, the Phoenician Scheme. The biggest question I have about this, can you guess what that is, Bryce?
I'm going to guess that the biggest
Too many
question
characters?
you have about this is... No, I have no idea.
Is why did it take so many movies directed by Wes Anderson before we finally got Michael Cera in a Wes Anderson film?
That's a
Because
good
of
question.
all of the actors
Wasn't he
that
in
he's
another
ever... No.
He's never been in one?
Never
Never
been in one.
Oh.
And if you think of Wes Anderson and the characters that he has and he puts in his films, Michael Cera should have been at the very top of his list. the fact that Michael Cera is in this, it takes what you would normally think as a perfect Wes Anderson film, and it makes it Michael Cera perfect.
Michael Cera is very, very good at
This he's just
And you're right. Michael Cera should have been in a
every
Wes
single
Anderson
Wes
movie
Anderson
well
movie.
before now. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is the story of a parental redemption, romance through espionage, commerce, spying, near death, lies, double crosses, actual death. Bill Murray as God, probably the best cast of any Wes Anderson film to date. Aside from a couple of his
hard to say.
usuals, we get pretty much everybody back in this. But all that being said, the plot is really quite simple. There is a scheme.
Is it simple?
And the U.S. government is trying to ruin Benicio del Toro's plan.
Okay.
So they illegally raise the price of rivets, which causes him to travel around with his daughter, who's also a nun, trying to negotiate the gap in their profitability.
It's not simple.
It's completely simple. You forget, I worked in banking and economics, so it all makes sense to me.
Made no sense to me.
All of this is done through Wes's normally dry humor, immaculate set designs, and cinematography, along with quick and intelligent dialogue. This has some of the most quick and intelligent dialogue that it's probably the quickest and fastest. Like I've seen in his last, say, 2 or 3 films, his dialogue gets quicker and faster, and I almost think it's because he wants you to go back and watch it 5 or 6 times in the cinema, which if we weren't having to see everything that came out in cinema, I literally would go see this in cinema every week just to make sure that I caught every single line of dialogue because it's that good. The pacing is perfect. The humor is perfect. The usual fast talking, smart writing was fast and furious, and along the way, we fall in love, as we usually do with every character that Wes writes, even though they may have started out as bad guys to start with, which happens a lot in his movies. They start out as bad guys or just unlikable people, and by the time you get to the end of the movie, you love them, and you love everybody that they run into. The plot seems simple, but at the same time, there's just so much going on. I can't look away or stop from wondering each time I see a Wes Anderson film. I'm always so captivated, entertained, and laughing, sometimes more uncomfortably than the others around me may want me to. As usual, this was a Mondo. I freaking love this film. And if you like Wes Anderson films, I think you will like this for sure. If you don't like Wes Anderson films, this one is probably even more manic and more in-your-face comedic than I would say most of his films. There's times in Wes Anderson films that I feel it kind of washes over you and you have this feeling of beauty from the visuals, and you're just soaking in the characters and the dialogue, and you can just absorb the film. This, I was openly laughing so much through this. This, to me, is his funniest movie. I'm not saying it's his best movie.
No.
I'm saying it's his funniest movie. I just absolutely love this film. Murray, I can never see him making a movie just because everything about his style is what I love. I love this film. It's so Mondo.
There you go. The Phoenician Scheme. Yeah, Wes Anderson. This actually isn't quite as Wes Anderson-y as some of his other movies, in my opinion. It's definitely still Wes Anderson. You still have the cool visuals and everything. But there is as you kind of pointed out, there is a more focus on almost rapid fire jokes, like just bang, 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 bang.
Mm-hmm.
Like every scene is just full of them. And they mostly land. It's a strange story in that unlike you, I had zero idea of what the hell was going on. I don't understand why he had to go to all these people about the gap. I didn't understand the gap. I didn't know why they had to make up the gap. Nothing made sense to me, and it didn't matter. The fact that he got to go to all these places, meet with these people, and discuss, who was going to make up the gap. It's like I finally got to the point where I don't care. I'm going to stop trying to figure it out because I was trying to figure it out for a while.
He's doing the math.
And it's like, none of this makes any sense. And it doesn't matter. It's all about the dialogue. It's all about the performances. It's all about watching Wes Anderson set pieces. Everything was just so enjoyable in this. And you're right. It's about time Michael Cera was in a Wes Anderson film. He fits like a glove. He is just custom made for this type of movie. And holy crap, was he so good in it.
Yeah.
You always know he's going to be good, but this might be one of his best performances ever.
Totally.
And because he
Other than Youth in Revolt.
Because
Youth in Revolt.
Youth in Revolt was
probably his best performance. This is probably his second best.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is, it ends, and you don't even know it's going there, but ultimately this is a story of redemption. Mm-hmm. And it's so nice that you end up falling in love with these characters, even though one of them's pretty despicable. But by the end, he ends up being a good guy. And I was okay with that. Usually I'd be like, that's stupid. But you know what? That whole last scene, I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll give you a pass on this, Wes Anderson, because you're actually making me happy here. So yeah, this is a Mondo. It is a different type of movie though than he's had in
comedy.
the past. It's a flat out comedy where all of his other movies are funny, Murray, but they're not. But they're not necessarily flat out comedies. It's hard to describe, but this was different, but still excellent. All the Wes Anderson things that you like are still there, but this is just a different type of Wes Anderson movie, and everybody in it. Oh my goodness gracious! From Bryan Cranston to Tom Hanks to Riz Ahmed to everybody in this was just. I think everybody is just so happy to be in a Wes Anderson movie that they show up and they're like,
and they're
gonna
give it everything they got.
Free. Whenever he wants them, he just calls his friends and they work for scale.
Yeah,
and that's
how he gets
that's how he can fill these movies with 9 million stars.
Exactly. Yeah,
and you know what? I mean, if he's doing something right, obviously, if he can make that set that much fun that everybody wants to come back and work for well under what they usually get paid, he's doing something right. And when the movie going public leaves the theater feeling the same way, it's a Mondo.
Yep. Yeah. Mondo. I kind of said it already, but I think Wes Anderson films are almost always about redemption. There's always a character that has to be redeemed, right?
Even when you look at the Fantastic Mr. Fox, and
everyone.
Right.
It's with Royal Tenenbaums, right? Same thing. Steve Zissou, it's same thing. It's a Rushmore.
Theme.
It's a recurring theme in his movies. It's always about making yourself better.
What are you wearing? Finding OR scrubs. Oh, are they?
Murray's like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah, why are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
I don't know why that's the funniest line that I've ever heard in my life, but every time I think Wes Anderson, for some reason, that's the first thing that pops into my head because it's the first movie I saw of his because I didn't see Bottle Rocket until afterwards. And man, that line just slays me every time.
Rushmore is still my favorite.
It's so
movie
good.
Of his by far.
By the way, glaringly obviously absent from this.
Jason
Schwartzman.
Yeah,
what?
He's been in every single one. Yeah. I wonder if he did something else. Maybe Murray can look that up for us while we're maybe he did production or maybe he did something else.
Part of the crew?
Or maybe the music, if Jason Schwartzman is in it anyway, because
I doubt that. I don't think
I can't see them having a falling out.
No, I don't believe that. Because he was just in Asteroid City.
He's not in all of them.
Yeah, he's in every single one.
If he's not, I'd be shocked.
Yeah. All right, so while Murray's looking some stuff up, we're going to talk about dangerous animals. And for those of you
getting our Australian horror on,
But we need to start with Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark,
Do 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 do, baby shark.
Aussie, 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 oi, 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 Baby
Mommy
Shark.
shark.
So, I'm certain that I've said this before, but Australian horror films are just 100% guaranteed. It is now officially a rule that they will not be horrible.
That's true.
It's one like it's like one of those things. You know, I almost had it 100%, but the nudity in French films is only at 99% now because we did see one that they were in underwear.
Yes.
But Australian horror films, if you're going to see an Australian horror film, you know you're going to at least like it. You're going to come out of it and say, that was not a rage. I mean, the plot in this is simple. You have a serial killer who does swimming with shark tours, who gets his rocks off on kidnapping young ladies, and then throwing chum in the water, and then videotaping the sharks attacking them. But this time, he kidnapped the wrong surfer.
Oh, man.
Because she got some spice.
She very spicy.
She's spicy. It's a fun ride as we get a cat and mouse type serial killer flick of will she escape or won't she escape? But we also get some stabby stuff, and we get ice picks in the forehead. Speaking of Frank Zappa,
The gore
lots
was
of
good.
PG torture
Yep.
and shark business.
There was some shark business.
He's wacky and a crazy enough killer, I guess.
Yeah.
Even has his own creepy serial killer dance, which I feel, in my opinion, it isn't done enough. In
No,
horror
every
movies.
by the way, every
it as good as
serial
Buffalo
killer
Bill?
in
Should
every
have-
movie should have their own dance,
right?
I am 100%
That is-
on board with
Was
that.
it as good as Buffalo Bill's?
No, in fact, I was just about to say, Murray, think Silence of the Lambs, but not as creepy and not as dick-tuckingly delicious as Buffalo Bill.
But still very
Still,
good.
it was very good.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's the love story part of this that wins out in the end. Because actually, the romance part actually wasn't the part that wins. What? What do you mean, Jim? It kind of made it a Hollywood ending and not an Aussie ending. That's with horror these days. Like, it seems that even, like, we just saw, I don't remember what country we saw, but they put a Hollywood ending in it as well. And we already get enough Hollywood endings in Hollywood films. If you're an Aussie horror film, stick to an Aussie horror film writing. Everyone should die, just like they're supposed to. Also, it needed to be more rated R horror and better gore. And if we're going to get creepy serial killer dance, have him be more creepy and more nude. You can tell in this, they had tamed
Didn't
it
have
down.
to be nude, Murray.
No, they okay, so
Never heard.
this guy, this guy was creepy enough. There's no way he'd be dancing around in his underwear. So they
Yes, he
tamed this
would.
they tamed this down to PG when
I
it should have
totally
been
bought that.
I didn't buy it
Why would he not be in his underwear? I don't understand, but go ahead.
cuz he's fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah. So you
It
can do
needed more-
there's nothing wrong with doing. You can be bat poop crazy and do an underwear dance.
I think based on the character they were developing on him, he was sexually charged by these shark killings.
Yeah.
To me, it was just they toned it down a little bit to me.
Yeah.
I think you could feel it in the film. This was a movie that you could easily bring a 5-year-old to at 10 p.m.
No, you could
Unlike
not.
some of the other traumatizing ones we've seen.
Please don't bring your 5-year-old to this
You know what?
movie.
It's a lot more than what was the one we saw, Until Dark, or Until whatever that one was called. That one should not have had a 5-year-old at.
That
this
also,
one was
don't
okay.
bring your 5-year-old to that one either.
Well, that one they definitely shouldn't see.
I think this one was more disturbing than that one.
I don't know. It wasn't that disturbing. There wasn't enough murder. They needed more murder. But it was a still fun little serial killer shark romp down under. It was a meh. I liked it, but the rule still applies. It's still a good movie because it's made in Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, this was a good movie. Australian horror, as you've mentioned, rarely misses. casting Jai Courtney as Tucker in it as the serial killer was perfect. He was brilliant in it. And the actress that I've never seen before, Hassie Harrison as Zephyr. Yeah. I don't know where they found her, but she was totally believable as someone that could literally hold her own against this guy. And the way that she delivered her lines and the sass that she showed, and it was all very, very believable. There was nothing wrong with this movie. It's just okay. I mean, I enjoyed.
I didn't feel a lot of the suspense. Like there were suspenseful moments, but it was kind of like you kind of could see where the movie was going.
Yeah, and
they should have had a lot more murder. Don't you think that he should have had a lot more murder?
I don't know that it needed more murder. It needed something, though. I think it needed, and it did need that romance in there because but you didn't need to end it the way it did. I was actually surprised that somebody survived. I'm spoiler alert. The final girl's gonna survive, and she of course does. But there's someone else that shouldn't have survived, and I don't know why we had to have like that
Hollywood ending, man.
That happy an ending. It didn't really work. The movie could have been darker, which probably would have made it better. It was still enjoyable though. The funny bits were funny. The kills were good. The dance was good. The filming, the underwater scenes are filmed very well. Yeah. The sharks all look great. I'm sure there was lots of CGI in it.
Oh, there was CGI blood everywhere.
But it didn't take away from it, which it typically would. And I liked it a lot, but it was I thought there was way more potential there. So it is meh, but I enjoyed it. I hope that Sean Byrne makes some more movies that make it to me, because I can see that he can definitely make a good movie. Let's just see next time if he can make a great movie, because I think it's in him.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this isn't his first feature.
No, he had another really. His
Devil's
other movie,
Candy.
Devil's Candy was also,
and The Loved Ones. Actually,
and they're both really good.
Yeah,
they're all meh.
Yeah, but he's consistent.
He is consistent
because he's Aussie.
But actually, The Loved One. You know what? The Loved Ones was Mondo. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, that first effort by him, that thing was.
That was probably his
that
baby.
was awesome.
His baby.
Yeah, that was Mondo. He's Mondo, but then he's meh. But
keep it up, buddy.
Yeah, I forgot about The Loved Ones. That was such a good movie.
It was a good movie.
I need to watch that.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Alrighty.
The Ritual.
Why is that the elephant in the room?
I don't know.
It's a solid outing by Mr. Al Pacino.
If this was the most publicized, documented, or blah blah whatnot exorcism in the U.S. history,
they barely based The Exorcist on this.
Yeah,
I'm like, whatever.
You would have thought that they could get enough money together to afford Steadicams or real cameras, but instead we got this.
Yeah,
with the one
they gave me motion sickness.
Yeah, it was giving me motion sickness too. With the one of two notes that we get from
barf bags when you go into the theater.
Yeah,
and not because you're disgusted, because you're just sick from the camera shifting all over the place.
All over the place, and it wasn't even like Soderbergh camera shots, where you're pretending you're a ghost. This was just, I don't know what this was.
I think it was just they gave the cameraman like, here's 5 cans of like energy drinks, suck them all back, and then he just couldn't hold his hand steady anymore. It was just that's what it looked like. The guy had the shakes, man.
Or maybe he was recently diagnosed with Parkinson.
Maybe.
In
case, good on him for holding this camera so steady.
As good as he could, exactly.
Continuing to work.
Yeah, so we get one of the two notes we usually get from Al Pacino. But again, this time, we also get him doing another horrible accent.
That was pretty
by
good,
which
Mur.
I have no clue.
It was funny.
It was funny because it was so
I don't
horrible.
think it was supposed to
I
be
think it
funny.
was. I think it was German
Maybe.
slash.
It doesn't matter.
Plus-
It's Al
Austrian.
Pacino.
It's just the one.
Take a flamethrower to this place.
Yeah, in a German.
Maybe it was Swiss.
horrible. Maybe Swiss, Murray. I think maybe it was Swiss.
Say hello to my little friend. I can't do that.
You can't do the Austrian Switzerland.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can tell you one thing about this. They kind of jump right into the exorcism pretty soon into this movie, but apparently without any sweet, sweet demon crackling. And it's interesting how she, and I'm putting this in heavy quotes, is possessed, but her room is full of stuff, that she can beat people with or herself. Ultimately, this is a story of a girl who gets possessed. The bishop deems her to be exorcised. Al Pacino shows up and starts doing daily rituals, and the rest of the church / parish are either afraid or think that this is a medical induced something, when clearly they've already been told that this is not the case. And after the church has already said, go fucking exorcise this girl, it just started to feel very clinical and, to be honest, super, super boring. The acting and the story are all tiresome. And what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, boring. Boring. When we should have got at least 3 times the demon crackling. Like there was maybe a crack. That was it.
Guessing
It wasn't.
no Russell Crowe on a scooter.
No Russell Crowe on
That's
a
coming,
scooter.
Murray. There's so much sitting and rereading her file and whining about this being too hard for the priest or the nuns, and then they let her escape. For some reason, I have no clue. Right after Pacino makes a big speech about, we need to stay on this ritual, whatever ritual it was. I think it was ritual 72. We have to stay on her and make sure that we stay with her until it's done, or we're going to lose her.
They got to like ritual 6 and then they just stopped putting the numbers up. So I got confused there.
Yeah,
too.
that was confusing. But
It's like you're putting up numbers every time, and then all of a sudden they just went away.
yeah, it's
It's like, so what ritual
which
is
ritual
this?
are we on now?
Are we still on 6?
Maybe. I think it's
The
just
6
one.
went over for like the last 3 times they saw her then.
Maybe
It was 6. It's like, oh, we didn't do 6 again.
666 is
Oh!
what it was. Did you not even catch that?
I didn't even catch. That must have been it.
Totally.
Now I feel dumb.
Yep.
I don't think that was what it was, Mur.
Yeah, so anyway, he does the speech about we got to stay on her until we lose her, but then they go out for cigarettes or something. It's like I just wanted anything interesting to happen, which
That would've been good.
absolutely
Should have just put a bullet in her head. And be
which
done with it.
absolutely nothing did. Although she kind of half crackled. Like it wasn't a full crackle, it was a crack. One time.
There was no ul,
There was no crackling, it was just crack.
no ling.
Yeah. We did get no Russell Crowe on a scooter, or Al Pacino on a scooter, or Possessed Lady on a scooter. In fact, Murray,
No
there was
scooters.
not one scooter
No
in this
scooters.
entire movie.
Not one.
So for that
Guess
reason
they were in
alone,
Italy then.
yeah, no, this was in
I don't know.
Who cares?
North Carolina or
Buck
something.
snort.
Oh, was it American?
It was
Buck
American.
snort,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
USA.
it's the American most publicized
Oh.
Yeah,
demonic
it's
possession.
it's based on a true story.
Yeah. So anyway, for that reason, of
Based
there
on
not
true
being
events, Murray.
not being any scooter in this. Plus, we got no full demon crackling. Nothing interesting ever happens, and a story that at best is an 11-minute short. And if Blumhouse had this,
Why are you talking about Blumhouse?
well, it kind of had that
feels like
whole
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse toned down thing. But if Blumhouse didn't make this, then
Which they
it should be
didn't.
an indicator that XYZ should also probably not have done this. If this is supposed to be the most important demon story that's ever been made, and it's been buried for this long, it should have stayed buried. Like, obviously, people have looked at this story and go, how are you going to make a movie out of this?
well, that's
because
that's the problem.
Because
with
it's just boring.
this. Yeah.
And also a rage. It was horrible. I hate it. I was squirming more than Bryce squirms when he watches a Tom Cruise movie.
There you go. Yeah, it's based on true events, but I don't know. In real life, this took place over like 6 months, and they condensed it into a week. You'd think if you took 6 months and condensed it into a week, there'd be more going on than what was going on. Al Pacino he was probably the best part of this movie, in my opinion. Unfortunately, he was terrible. Dan Stevens, my God, I've never seen someone just like every time they showed his face, he just looked either bored or lost or just perplexed. And more perplexed, I would say, than anything. Like every time they showed a close-up of his face, he had that look on his face, like he didn't really know what was going on. And it got laughable. Like every time they showed him, he had the same exact expression on his face, this bewilderment. And I'm like, what? Like at some point, can't the director go, "Hey Dan, can you like give us a different expression? Is this all you got for me?" And he probably said, "No, this is all I got because this script's terrible. I'm bored to pieces acting in this. What the hell is with Al Pacino over here? He used to be okay. What's going on now?" And don't get me wrong, Murray, he was still the best part of this movie for me because Al Pacino made me laugh a few times. I'm not sure he was supposed to.
I don't think it was intentional.
But he did. So he was the best part of this movie. But this was a whole lot of nothing. Like, how do you take the events of 6 months, condense it into a week, and have nothing happen? Plus, they took all sorts of liberties. Why are you taking this 40-year-old girl and making her a teenager? Like, the 40-year-old woman and making her a teenager? Like, if you're basing it on true events,
why
base
don't you
it
do
on
that?
true events.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been interesting.
Tell her backstory. Do something.
Yeah, this actual exorcism wasn't on a teenager. It was on a 40-year-old woman, for goodness sakes. It's just like, it's so many dumb things in it. And it's all forgivable if you make an entertaining movie. Sure, twist it the way you want to, as long as it's entertaining. But you know what? If you're going to make something boring, don't give me one more thing to bitch about because you're so inaccurate. I'm all, So, yeah, this is a rage.
It couldn't have been any. Like, here's the thing, Murray. Like, I think they're trying to make the point. Like, remember, all of us have seen The Exorcist. Me and Bryce probably a lot more times than Murray.
Yeah, I've seen it like twice.
But so the thing with The Exorcist is that you've got Murman, who is an exorcist, who knows what he's doing, and then you've got the other guy, Demi. You got him. No, the young guy, who's still not 100% sure that demons.
The bad boy priest.
Yeah,
his dialogue was so awful in this. It's just like,
yeah, but that's what the thing is about it, is that like it didn't take him long to figure out that okay, this girl is possessed in The Exorcist. In this one, it was like they're trying to make it like he's like some super, like maybe he was a super smart priest. Like they didn't develop any of his backstory.
Well, no, he looked like an idiot.
He was just a moron through the whole movie. It's like, okay,
it's
your
like,
bishop.
What has to happen that you
that you understand that this is an exorcism?
Yeah, that she can't just go to the hospital and get fixed.
Yeah, you've already read her file like 10 times. He kept rereading it, and the bishop came and bitch slapped him twice to say, "Listen, motherfucker, get your head out of your ass and start doing The Exorcist." And it was just so boring.
It was poopy.
It was the poop.
Rage. I tell you, Dan Stevens keeps this up. He's going to be on the frickin' doubted list.
Do you know what he was in last time?
He might be in the
can't even pick him out of a lineup.
The repulsive
and he
list.
might be on the repulsive list too, because his performance was beyond awful in this.
So bad. Oh, what's her name? Everybody loves Raymond's wife is in it.
Yeah. I like her, but she's
a right wing nut.
So she's a right wing Catholic?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
big time.
They should have had, who they should have had in this?
Kid
Mel
Rock?
Gibson? No, Mel Gibson and what's his name?
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Shirt guy without a shirt.
Guy without a shirt?
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah. He's a right
That's
wing.
who they should have
cast.
That's
right?
He should have been the priest.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg should have been the priest.
And then had Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson is
riding a scooter.
That's right. Oh, they should have had this. Like, let's just face it. If you're gonna make a demon movie nowadays, if you don't have a scooter, like, don't even come to the table. Like, it's just wasted space. All right. Okay. Now something that isn't a wasted space. Detective Kien, the Headless Horror. period piece, romance, mystery horror soap opera. This is one of those.
That sounds terrible.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
This is one of those films rich, and when I say rich, I mean like dripping opulence rich with past traditions of the countryside, with a lot of formalities set deep in traditions that I hope are long since gone for many reasons, such as arranged marriages, second wives, or as they're referred to, seconds, shaman influences, ruling classes with rules, and you can be punished for talking shit against them, even when it's true, along with all the weird and wonderful sexist and strange rituals and beliefs there is in mystery-solving detective of the judge, who's trying to solve what happens to Nye? Is that the pronounce her name? Nye? It's NGA. But
Yeah, I think it's Nye.
Nye? But shrouded in a tale of killer ghost who makes people's nose bleed and kills people and chops off their heads, which weaves itself into the story sometimes just to keep us on our toes and give us jump scares with its evil hands clutching at stuff. But instead of evil ghost cracklings, Murray, which we would have got if this was in Hollywood, in a Hollywood crap fest, we get ghost sloshing sounds because it's a water ghost, which makes the ghost stuff even more scary and creepy, because when that sloshy sound comes, every time this ghost comes out, I was creeped out. This film is so beautifully shot with moments of hilarity, both because of the acting and because of the situations, with a murder mystery that has more twists than a full bowl of Vietnamese pho. Nothing happens as you expect it to. This was such an interesting detective romance horror soap opera, which had so many red herrings and turns that kept you guessing all the way through this. And nothing, and when I say nothing in this happens by convenience or happenstance, unlike other mysteries that we see, everything in this is so well planned out and thought of right down to the very last minute of this film. No spoilers in this, but this film is motherfucking bonkers. The gore is fantastic. The mystery is one worth going along for the ride for. I had so much fun watching this film. Many times as I was watching it, though, I wrestled with, how was I going to rate this as I was watching it? But ultimately, it's like a beautifully shot train wreck of a film that you cannot look away from, not even for a second. It was Mondo, and I say Mondo, and I can't wait to see if Detective Kien
Comes back
for another mystery to solve. Unlike an English-speaking Frenchman like Poirot, give me a Vietnamese period piece, romance, horror drama, mystery film every single time. This movie was so motherfucking bonkers. I loved every single thing that happens in this movie. I have a couple things to unpack, but what did you think of Detective Kien?
I've never watched a movie. I'm watching this movie, and like 10 minutes in, I'm like, what am I watching? And it took me a while to get into it, because I'm like, I honestly don't know what is, like, I know what's going on, but I don't know why it's going on and why this movie's like going in the direction it's going. And then you just kind of, you blink, and then all of a sudden you're into it. Like, and it happened quick. 10 minutes in, I'm like, what? And then like 15 minutes in, I'm like, okay, I think I'm in. And 20 minutes in, I was in. And every single twist and turn in this movie, you don't see coming. Like, you do not see. You're going, okay, this obviously that's going to go in this direction. And it does not. And you're like, I couldn't have even fathomed it going in that direction, but that's where it went. And now where does it go from here?
And it all
it's
makes
obviously
sense.
going to go here. And it's like, no, that's not where we're going. We're going way over here where you have no idea. And I'm
But
like,
it all made sense.
And it did. It all made sense. And it was so bonkers. So, and I'm not sure if it was like just this expert filmmaking that was leading. And I think it was. I think he's trying to lead me in one direction. And he's like, haha, got you again. And he got me every time. And it happened like multiple times. And in the hands of, like, I think I was talking to you after, in the hands of a Hollywood director, they would have had like two characters definitely get together. They also would have had one character be part of the hunt for the, and they just didn't do any of that. They did none of it. Characters that you thought maybe would be a bigger part of this film ended up being a smaller part of this film. Like, nothing was like conventional at all. It was crazy to watch this movie. And it was so much fun because of it. Because I'm sitting here watching something unlike I've ever watched before.
An actual mystery worth solving.
And it's a mystery where it's like, there's no way I could have predicted like how all of this went together. And I think I could have figured out maybe like parts of it.
The bleeding nose part.
But when you come down to it, what a refreshing movie to watch something just like you've never seen before. I was just, the gore, as you say, was great.
Yeah, and the monster was
and
great.
there was so much, and I don't know if some of the funny parts were supposed to be funny, some of it maybe wasn't, but doesn't matter because it was hilarious, and I had such a good time. You can't give this anything but a Mondo because it was just too damned enjoyable.
I want to see it again.
I do. It was just
maybe we'll see it again one day too.
So good, and such a beautifully shot movie. Yeah. Just really beautifully shot movie.
Yeah, like I couldn't get over. It's in the jungles of Viet Nam.
Stuff in this that we hate. We didn't hate in this. Like the flashbacks, bring them on if you're gonna do it this way. It's like. So yeah, no, excellent movie. If you get a chance to watch this, just take a chance. Watch this movie. Little gem from Viet Nam.
Anytime we get a chance to watch a Vietnamese film now, because you know what, we've never been disappointed by a Vietnamese film.
We just don't get too many of them.
No, it's true. We get
them at the festivals. Sometimes,
yeah, we get the festivals, but there's you know what? I'm liking this new insurgence of other international films. We've got so many more Korean films lately. We've always had a lot of Chinese and even a lot of Indian
Japanese
films. Yeah, we get the occasional Japanese
we
ones
get more,
as well.
We get more Indian than Chinese than anything.
We have a huge Indian population here, which makes sense, right? Like, I'm glad, because Bollywood, as much as Hollywood likes to think it's big, it doesn't even come close to Bollywood.
No.
Like, what comes out of Bollywood every year, I'm just so impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vietnamese on our list. I think you have a different theme song.
A different theme song.
Yeah, you want this
So you
one.
wanted to sing it again.
We were about to. I wish you would have kept it rolling.
Totally.
Then I could have skipped this. Well, I didn't actually prepare anything.
What?
So, but I have two things now.
Nice.
Listen to you guys talk for the last half an hour.
Yes.
The first thing is your Jason Schwartzman
Yes, that's what we're hoping.
was in 5 movies last year.
What?
He was in Last Showgirl.
Yep.
He was in Queer.
Yes.
Megalopolis.
Yes.
Between the Temples.
I love
Yes,
that
that was a good movie.
And the one that came out this year, something called Mountainhead, which doesn't have a very good
I think it's
review.
streaming right now.
Maybe, but anyway. So yeah, he may have been slightly busy to be in this one. And then the year before, he was in that Hunger Games thing and Spider-Man, and Asteroid City was 2023. So
Yeah.
he's a busy guy.
That's good.
Good.
Which leads me to my topic. Basically, is I am not the hugest Wes Anderson fan.
No, we know that.
I looked up the 12 best Wes Anderson movies, and I had seen 3 of them. So
And
yeah,
they
I'm not
were all amazing.
No, I will not say that.
They were all amazing.
The Asteroid one was okay. I
It
didn't
was a Mondo.
understand a lot of it, but and then the French Dispatch thing,
A
it was
Mondo.
too long. But my favorite Wes Anderson film
That you have seen,
that I
yeah.
have seen is the Grand Budapest Hotel.
It was excellent.
The cast is just amazing. Like Ray Fiennes, that F. Murray guy, even Adrian Brody wasn't bad. Willem Dafoe, Jeff Goldblum, Harvey Keitel, Bill Murray, Edward Norton, Jason Schwartzman, Tilda Swinton, Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was just yeah, it was a joy, and I don't know, like maybe he caught me on a rare moment, but yeah, the last few I haven't really enjoyed as much. But
You know what I think you need
I
to do, though,
understand
Murray?
why you like them. I find his plots are a little too complicated, and there's way too many characters to keep track of. If
You know
he
what?
had-
You
if he had,
should
like
see-
half as many people in it, maybe.
You should see Rushmore, Murray. You actually should see
Well,
it because
as a Bill Murray fan, I probably should see some of those, but yeah, I haven't. So
Well, and Steve Zissou, actually, if you're
yeah,
being such a big Bill Murray fan.
yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that's my opinion on
I
Wes
can't
Anderson.
imagine that you wouldn't like the Royal Tenenbaums. Did you see that?
I've heard of it. I haven't.
I think
might.
you'd like
seen it
that
either.
one.
Yeah, Gene Hackman's a big.
Man.
Oh, is that where he's like an old guy who's coughing and stuff?
No, he's not
No.
really
No,
coughing.
what was that one? He was an old guy who was like, but he was about a sleazy family too. But
Yeah, I
he played
don't
this
think-
old guy.
No.
I thought that was that one, but
No, I think you'd actually like the Royal Ten. If I was to say
money
one
on it?
movie, put money on which movie you would
Yeah.
like. That
I think
be
he
the
would
one.
pick Rushmore. I don't.
Think
Now we
so.
got to get him to watch
I
both
don't
of
know.
those.
The Zissou
I-
one sounds interesting too.
I think there's no way he likes Rushmore
no, I
better
just
than
they
Royal
come out.
Tenenbaums.
I've never seen them.
Want to put a wager on it?
We're gonna bet on me.
Yeah, we're gonna bet on Murray.
All right then.
Temperature rising.
Movie rental. All right.
Vision blurring.
When he sees both of them, we'll know.
Rage taking over.
Okay, so I got a bit of a spin on my rage this week. I could rage about the films we saw that made me rage this week, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually I'm going to do not a rage as in I'm raging about something, but I'm going to talk about my raging boner that I had when I watched The Detective Kien and the Headless Horror. Because it was funny when we went into the film, I turned to Bryce because we came in first, but very close after us. This family of Vietnamese people came in and they sat almost an entire row
In front of you.
and it was about maybe three down from us, but they filled up the whole row. And I said to Bryce, I said, any money, they talked through the entire film. And he just looked at me and went, mm-hmm. And then, sure enough, they
There's no
talked to
question they were going to.
There's no question they
Was
were
it in
gonna-
Vietnamese at least?
It was in Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So I was so, because we were loving the movie so much and listening to them talk about it, it actually added more pleasure to that movie. So I'm like, normally I would be raging about people talking during the movie, but I had a total raging cultural boner for Detective Kien and the Vietnamese family, who they brought the entire family, Murray. They brought like the grandma and the grandpa and everybody to this movie. And I'm like, and then afterwards, after they went outside, they were talking about it for like 5 or 10 minutes.
There you go.
I went outside and listened to them talk, and I was like, I can't understand a word they're saying, but I thought this is what cinema should be about. And so I don't have an anti-rage this week. I have a raging boner for the Vietnamese culture in this movie and the family that went to see that movie with us.
I think Bryce is still trying to think something.
Maybe.
Lost
Yeah.
in thought.
Well, no, I'm trying to think. Like nothing really upset me this week. Just kind of odd.
Not John Wick?
I mean, I could take the easy way out and say, yeah. I mean, the whole Ballerina movie, but I've already given it a rage. That's not new news.
Seems counterproductive.
It does seem counterproductive.
Well, maybe you've got a raging boner too for
Well, well,
Nothing in life has pissed you off this week?
I think that maybe my rage is that we haven't gotten enough Vietnamese movies and we need more.
yeah.
This has opened my eyes.
And in fact, it's probably going to be out of theaters
and
like
isn't it
tomorrow.
Isn't it odd that just Asian cinema in general just is so good? Like is there a country in Asia that makes bad movies? It's just.
Well, see, I've been saying that for years, but you always
But
go,
the thing
it's only
is,
because we get the good
because we
ones."
only get the good ones, and that is true. But boy, we get a lot of good ones. Like they almost never miss. Like we never come out of it going, "This was terrible." Or
especially the horror. Like
Yeah.
nobody produces horror like
yeah,
the Asian
there's
communities.
no question.
Then the Americans rip it off.
Yeah,
So,
well, the Americans always redo it more horribly. And
Yeah, so maybe that's my rage. Is that
Stop
that-
remaking Asian movies.
No, maybe the North Americans need to take some tips from the Asians as far as it comes to horror and start making better stuff.
Yeah, I agree. The I just read an article recently that they've been talking about our favorite Korean zombie film that they've been saying they're going to remake.
Train to Busan?
just
Yeah,
don't.
it's in production
They already
now.
made a sequel that wasn't very good.
Yeah, the sequel was horrible, but they've talked about making an Americanized version.
American
of it.
version of it. Oh yeah, I think I
Yes.
read that.
Yes. So they've been talking
Does
about it
that
for
star
years.
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah. It might.
Probably. It should start.
Or Chris Evans.
Yeah, or Chris Evans.
Oh, Chris Evans. We got to go to a Chris
But
Evans movie.
he-
That's my rage. I got to go
he-
to a Chris Evans
He
movie
was in
this week.
he was in a movie set on a train. You can do another one.
You know what?
Yeah, that was a good movie though. Snowpiercer was good.
Yeah,
saying.
and also he
was already
in,
on a train, so
he was
can do
also
do this
in
one.
Scott Pilgrim, which is a Michael Cera
right.
film. So
That's
you know what? That's a good way to end that.
There you go.
I'm sorry. What was my rage?
That there isn't enough Michael
Asian
Cera.
movies are better.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Last week on Rage or Dare, after the calamity that was Jim's daring skills, he finally came to grips with his biggest diagnosed fear. Which, as he says, comes from the Greek kakosinemia, idenzophobia. Kako meaning bad, cinema being film, it ends meaning with us, phobia obviously fear. So here's Jim's definition. It is the deep aversion to watching a film that is both emotionally draining and critically regarded or personally perceived as a cinematic train wreck, especially when that film is It Ends With Us. This week, it's back to both our little rageettes as they can rage or dare. And Uncle Casey has a sweet bag of remakes you little uns may want to go back to, just saying. Come on, Bryce. All right, let's see how Jim overcame his greatest film fear of this modern age. Did he use up all his sweet Canadian free medical care to get counseling to power through it? Or did he just self-medicate into numbness and to try to overcome his greatest fear? And here all along, I thought it was being eaten by a great white like in Jaws, or, maybe quicksand from Lawrence of Arabia. Who knows? Maybe Blake Lively has that much power. Side note, have met her in person while I was working. Nice lady.
There you go.
That man so much. All right. Okay. I didn't really want to watch this.
I know
No
that.
kidding.
I thought I could avoid this film.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I mean, I staged a family vacation completely coinciding with the release of this film internationally,
well, I know what you're
knowing
up to.
knowing that if I was, and I'm putting this in heavy quotes, on vacation, I was sure to miss this and not have to watch this ever. But when Bryce told me that I would eventually have to see this,
Yes, I did.
from his bag, my phobia was formed. And I have lived in the shadow of this fear up until this week. Sleepless nights, weight gain, followed by weight loss, by rehab, and now, finally, closure. My fears were definitely founded. Seeing Blake Lively and Brandon Sklenar try and act for 2 hours and 10 minutes was enough to make this a feared experience But trying to understand how this outperformed many amazing films at the box office made my fears turn actually more into sadness. But it didn't stop there. The dialogue in this is mind-numbingly corny and harlequin romance-ridden. And the story, my God, the story! I have never seen a movie so hard to trying to make a real point while being so in your face and so completely boring. Oh wait, there's more. This bounces around in time so much you think, or perhaps you wish, you lived inside the movie Memento so you could go back in time and forget seeing this altogether. From how she meets people and how things transpire to the dialogue that is like nothing that anyone would actually say ever. Like, or sound like at all. This goes from one level of traumatic, phobia-fueling, fear-filled realization to another of how bad a film could actually be. Oh, and in case I didn't say it, it's also very boring. Did I mention that? That it was really, really boring?
You did.
And was this actually a movie, or was it a set of music videos that were strung together with some thinly veiled... Oh my God. And why is it almost every single scene with Blake Liveliness, we get this up-close whisper talking? I felt like I was watching 2 hours and 10 minutes of ASMR torture video. My fears were so well-founded in this. If I heard her talk like this... Sorry, I can't even get it. How could I talk like this? I was gonna like stab things into every orifice of my body. This was so painful watching her try and act. It was horrible. Horrible.
She can't carry a film.
She is
she
horrible. Oh my God. Now, did I miss anything? Because you remember, you saw this first.
I've been trying to block it out of my memory since I saw it.
I just, it was so horrible.
Yeah.
I do not want to see another Blake Lively movie anytime soon. Please
worry,
do not remember that.
She's married to a billionaire. She doesn't have to work.
Yet she still continues to.
Well, because she's bored.
All right, we're going to pull from Uncle Casey's little bag of
Casey's
goodies. You
bag.
ready?
We are we?
Yeah, there you go.
What does he have? Sequels?
Usually.
Evil bags of
Evil bags of
remakes,
sequels?
Remakes and
Remakes,
sequels.
yeah.
Okay, I think I only got one here.
All right, what are we seeing?
It's long. Oh no, it's just a long piece of paper. The Hitcher from 2007.
The Hitcher?
Yeah.
Like not a remake?
I believe it is a remake, is it not?
Hitcher from
From
2007?
2007. I think it's a remake of an earlier Hitcher, if memory serves me correct. I would almost guarantee it.
I see, yeah, I think that...
I didn't realize that The Hitcher had a remake, or did I? I don't even know. That was,
They
it was
remake
only
everything
18 years
eventually.
ago. You'd think I could remember.
There's 1986, The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer.
Yeah,
and then
that's-
there's The
that's the-
Hitcher
that's the
with Sean
good one.
Bean and Sophia Bush.
Yeah, I believe those are...
Yikes.
Yeah, that is a remake
Always
of
count
the,
on Casey.
Yeah, I believe that is a remake of the Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell's Jennifer Jason Leigh movie, which was actually pretty good.
Well, we're going to find out if this horrible remake
It's horrible.
is horrible.
Yes.
Wow. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey from The Nerdy Photographer for the voice of Rager Darren, our God of Rage. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. It's Father's Day coming up, and Daddy wants some panties. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com unless you're trying to sell us something. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.